Welcome to another Cup of Joe. I'm your host, Joe Tumalo, CEO of Measure Plan Giving Development. And we have a lovely guest today, Amanda Kaiser. Amanda is from Kaiser Insights. Welcome, Amanda.
Hi, thanks so much, Joe. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. We always do a coffee cup toast. Do you have a unique coffee cup with you today?
Yeah.
You do. Look at that.
Yeah.
We'll take
Yeah.
a hike.
It reminds me that I've got to get away from my desk sometimes and go outside.
What's the things in motion, stay in motion. Things at rest, stay at rest.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Newton, a guy named Newton came up with that.
Yeah, just that guy.
So a little bit of a twist for us, for our audience here. We usually talk mostly about charities, or we're talking more about membership organizations, associations, correct? Which can be charities.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. A lot of them have foundations, and so they do fundraising as well.
Yeah, there you go. So would you consider like an opera company that has members? Would you consider that? Well, it's membership, right? Membership.
It is membership. Yeah. So I'm just publishing a book, and it's about creating these thriving member communities. And so it's based on a lot of research that I've done with members for professional associations and societies. However, what I'm finding is people who are buying it are saying, oh, I want it because I run an online community, or I've got another kind of membership base, and all of those things apply across the board in terms of membership.
So in the fundraising world, the biggest challenges right now, the economy, of course, are affecting resources. Hard to get employees, hard to get donors' attention. Some donors are feeling unsteady about the economy, maybe less likely to commit. How are things being affected in the membership and association space?
Yeah. Of course, COVID turned everything upside down, right? And so a lot of the same issues, but I think fundamentally, even if you go back, kind of pre-COVID, maybe the last 10, 20 years, I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm just getting busier and busier and busier and busier. And I think our members are as well. They're super busy. They're super busy in their work lives and their home lives. And there's all these things that they need to do that they can't even get to, let alone the things they want to do. And that makes engagement really challenging. So I think we've got to figure out how to engage differently, because time is such a factor these days.
Yeah. So one of the things that we talked about are some key takeaways you mentioned. Number one is there's more to engagement than delivering value. Mm-hmm. What's left?
Yeah, so I've done about 477 member interviews with people from all different types of professions and industries at all different stages of their career. And there's some very common through lines, and through that those discussions, I figured out that there's two components of engagement. One is a value component, so you got to be able to tell your story. You've got to give them some value. The other component is the experience. You can't put a dollar sign on it. It's the soft and fluffy stuff. So what I see a lot of associations doing across the board is they're leaning hard into the value. We got to figure out our value proposition. We got to communicate our value. We've got to change our value with our members' needs, or our donors' needs, or our customers' needs. And what is falling by the wayside is the experience part of it. So right now I'm out there banging the drum on experience.
And so can you give me an example? Or maybe we can say, let's take like all right, how about association of fundraisers? So yeah. There's, I don't know if you're familiar with AFP, Association of Fundraising Professionals, international organization.
Yeah.
I've been a member. Around pandemic, it was tough because we weren't getting together. We were meeting on Zoom. But like, what are some ways? But candidly, not to just. It's nothing to do with them. It feels more like me. I just don't feel all that engaged.
Yeah. There are, and you are not alone. There's a lot of people that are sort of feeling like, is my professional association right for me? So one of the things that I love to tell associations is there's no place better to start than the new member. So if you can engage your new member really enthusiastically, then that will help lifelong engagement. I've done some really cool research. We've got lots of stats around that. That, you know, if you can engage them in, say, like the first 3 days that they become a member, they have a much better chance to make it to, say, like a 20-year member. So that's kind of a cool thing. And when I talk about experiences, I know we're all strapped for resources. So one of the things that I kind of talk about is you don't have to buy the fancy technology. You don't have to invest tons and tons of dollars in getting the right speaker for your event. If you can do it, it's great. But if you can't do it, experiences can come in the form of a really nicely written, handwritten note. It can be in a very warm, generous, open email. It can even be a smile. You know, when people come to the registration desk, sometimes we're so busy, you know, getting them their program and getting them their bag and getting them all of their stuff that we just forget to like smile, you know? So there's a lot of things that you can do experientially in the course of everything else that you're already doing.
How about, and I like this with, I suggest this with board members, with donors, and certainly new members of any association, having like I don't know if chaperone is, maybe that's the right word. So you're a new member, I've been a member for a while. Joe Tumalo is assigned to you, he'll be reaching out to you. We'll do a phone call or a Zoom. Amanda, this is how I think you can really get the most value from the association, learning who can I connect you with. I'm really big on relationships and connecting people. You know, is there anybody that you'd want to meet? You have your business. Is there anybody that I can introduce you to here in the association, other members that might benefit from what you're doing, and it'd be a good networking opportunity?
Yeah. So I fielded a piece of research called the New Member Engagement Study with my partners, Dynamic Benchmarking, and we looked at 15 tactics that you can use for new member onboarding. And one of those tactics was new member ambassadors. And so it's the buddy system that you were just talking about. 4 years ago, it was not something that was even on the map for associations. And now it's turning into a very fast growing tactic. And I'm super excited about it. But I think, you know, you're getting at one of those things that sometimes we hope that if we create the environment that our members, our people will just magically meet each other. But sometimes we need to think about how to create those connections for them and say, oh, you know, hey, you know, you're working on a project and there's not very many people working on a similar project, but I do know Sue who's working on the project. Bob and Sue, you know, I'm going to connect you. And it's that extra step. Doesn't have to take a lot of time, but it means everything to your members.
And just this is a personal thing that has driven me crazy when you come in, Joe's a fundraising guy. Well, we'll put him on the fundraising committee. Well, yeah, but maybe I'm just tired. Maybe I want to do something else. Maybe I have other interests. Maybe I want to be on the marketing committee or finance committee, not me, but you know, we just kind of stereotype people to say, oh, put them on that committee. But maybe we just want to do something else once in a while.
Yeah, you know, I know we only have 10 minutes and we could talk about this all day, but volunteer engagement is another thing that's really rapidly changing. You know, it used to be that people were super patient and they would volunteer in committee after committee after committee for decades until maybe they made it to the board, you know, and I think that model might still work for some people, but we've got a lot of members who have a lot of great ideas and energy and enthusiasm, and there's tons of ways that we can get them to contribute to our organizations and build their leadership experience without that kind of tried and true path that you were just talking about.
So yeah, we are wrapping up here. I did want to ask you, we talked earlier about, I'm in the bottom portion of the baby boomers, or the younger, whatever, however you say that, baby boomer generation, and learning to adapt to younger generations, the way they do business, the way they engage, and you know, really working on, okay, I need to change because they're not going to change. Feeling like an old man. So how is that? What are you seeing as far as associations? I was at where was it? Church a couple of months ago. Yeah, and the pastor was talking about churches and just less members showing up, especially after the pandemic, and associations in general, or clubs or memberships. Like it could be Rotary, from all these other, it's all changing. The younger generation are not necessarily, they don't want to act or engage the way that baby boomers and older have all these years.
Yeah, yeah. So I suspect you're somewhere in that like bridge between Gen X and Boomer, and I'm firmly in the Gen X category. And yeah, so there's some consternation out there that the younger generation doesn't want to belong or join. And I don't know that that's the case. I've been looking at, especially for associations, when I'm guessing that when you started your career, you probably worked in an office, and I did too. I started my career at Crayola, and I met all of these people who became lifelong friends, and they're still friends of mine today. Well, this generation, especially the one that started in COVID, they're at home, working in remote jobs, and they're not having that same kind of relationship building, water cooler talk, going out to lunch kind of experience that you and I had. So there was actually an interesting piece of research done by MCI on membership, and one of the highlights is the younger generation really does want to meet in person. They want to go to chapter meetings. They want to go to annual meetings. And I was thinking about how this is such a big opportunity for associations, because the associations could become the place where people make their lifelong friends in their industry or in their profession. So I think, I don't know the answer, but with some thinking and some mind shifts, we can probably get there.
And surveying, ask them what they want, right?
Yep.
Awesome. Great job, Amanda Lea Kaiser. So some big takeaways here, not to put you on the spot, but I can tell you rattled them off quickly.
Okay, some really quick takeaways. So if you want to engage anybody, you need to have value, but you also need to focus on the experiential part of things. Experiences don't have to be super expensive. They can be as much as a smile, a quick chit chat, a really nicely warm worded email. And I've got, I don't know, another 100 and maybe more, 1,000 ideas in my new book, Elevating Engagement. So it's Elevating Engagement, Uncommon Strategies for Creating a Thriving Member Community. And you can find that on any online bookseller, Amazon, and on my website, which is Amanda Lea Kaiser. And my middle name's a little tricky. It's Lea. So Amanda Lea Kaiser, KaiserLikeTheRole.com.
Great. And if people want to, so what your deliverable is you do workshops, speaking, consulting.
Yep. So I talk about I do keynotes on all 6 stages of member engagement, from new member all the way to volunteer, and I facilitate problem solving events, and that's mostly the core of my business. And now I'm selling books.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Amanda, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All the best.